Hello, I'm here today, top of Chertsey, Primark, Bold Street End, on this very busy, noisy Friday afternoon. It really is a busy day, it is a noisy day, loads of buskers out. Let me just put this to you. Are Kensington and Fairfield the same places they were 5 to 10 years ago? Well, of course they're not, right? Is Breck Road, County Road, West Derby Road, Lawrence Road, Smithdown Road, many other places, are they the same places they were 5 to 10 years ago? Well, the answer is no. Of course it's no. Everyone knows there's been a change, a cultural transformation. You, Ian, you know more than anyone, given the past 30 plus, even longer, years you've been watching Liverpool play at Wembley Stadium. Wembley Town in the borough of Brent, you would have watched that area, that community culturally change each time you visited the town of Wembley, watching Liverpool at Wembley Stadium. Yeah, am I right on that? Yet you see the same transformation now underway here in our glorious city, and you remain silent like it's a non-event, nothing to worry about, don't get concerned about, right? Well, people should be concerned regarding what's happening, because if this change continues, it'll be a change like never before, a change our city has never, its history, experienced, right? Scousers will be replaced by universal Scousers, like with what's happening now. It's not me making this up, right? It's real and present, it's all around. So before anyone starts saying, oh no Joe, Liverpool will be the same place it's always been, well, I'll ask you this again. Are Kensington and Fairfield the same places they were 5 to 10 years ago? Well, the answer is no. You know it's no, right? The answer is an emphatic no. They're completely different places. Again, County Road, Breck Road, West Derby Road, just 3 examples. Are they the same places they were 5 years ago? I don't have to go back 10 years. 5 years ago? Well, the answer is no. They are completely different places. They have been culturally changed, or I should say they are being culturally changed as I speak. And once new arrivals are in the driving seat, everything dances to their tune. There's no cultural rewind, remember that. No one starts all of a sudden playing fair. Listen, got to bring these Scousers in on this. They gave us opportunity and a future in there. Glorious city, so come on, we've got to repay them. If anyone believes that, you need to give your head a wobble. Go and study history, go and get out more, you know. That's not what happens in the real world, ladies and gentlemen. The real world's a million miles away from refugees. Welcome, saying it on as an emotional statement, or diversity is our strength. Again, saying it as an emotional statement as opposed to the real world. You see, what's happening as opposed to when the small black and Chinese community settled in Liverpool many years ago. There's too many different nationalities coming into the city that have got nothing in common with one another, let alone their Scouse hosts. So how is this integration going to take place? At the same time, maintaining our unique Scouse character, traditions and cultural identity. How is that going to happen? Well, it can't happen like it didn't happen in the borough, in the town of Wembley, in the borough of Brent. Like it didn't happen right across London, in fact. Birmingham, Leicester. Look what's happened in Leicester. Leicester is plagued. It's plagued by communal violence here. And we know why, due to cultural change. I don't know, the sun's gone out there. Let me try and get... that's better. Right, so that's why we must oppose further cultural change. It's not me having to go with anyone. I wish I didn't have to come down here. But if I don't, then who will? No one. And then what happens then? These reckless politicians, they'll get away with what they're allowing to happen here in our glorious city. They're allowing this change to take place. It's a change, like I've said, unprecedented in our city's history. Unprecedented. A change that can't be reversed, by the way. You can't just decide, listen, we're not happy with this change now, can we have cultural rewind? Well, no, sorry, you can't. That doesn't come with it. Right? The new arrivals then are in the driving seat. And everything dances to their tune. Like in other places, like I've said, Blackburn, parallel lives prevail there. If you don't believe me, Google it. Right? You will see. It's getting really busy now, ladies and gentlemen, so I might have to call time. Like I say, Ian Byrne and Jan Carlton, Paula Barker, Kim Johnson, MPs here in Liverpool, they work in at times, live in London. They know only too well what has happened to our capital city, yet they remain silent as that same transformation takes place here in our glorious city, right? And that's why we must oppose further cultural change. Do this at election time, find a candidate, reliable, credible, opposed to further cultural change, and give them your vote, because short of that, ladies and gentlemen, cultural change will sweep across our city, changing it forever, changing long-standing proud Scouse communities, Scouse schools, our Cherry City Centre, our Scouse economy falling more and more into the hands of new arrivals, right? We can't let this happen. We have a moral duty to our children and grandchildren to make sure we pass down a city that is one they are familiar with, understand, and part of their culture, their history, their heritage, everything their forefathers have sacrificed for. Not a place that is then occupied by universal Scousers. Bear with us, it's getting really, really busy, right? People keep asking me, why do I look round? I'm looking round so I don't bump into people, because it's really, really busy when you're doing these videos sometimes, you know. So many people wondering why. That's why. Why don't I keep still? You couldn't keep still, you bump into people, right? You couldn't stay still, you've got to keep on the move. So I hope that's answered some queries on social media. But anyway, so as I say, Ian Byrne, refugees welcome, Dan the diversity man, Dan Carlton. They know what is happening here in our city. They know only too well. They know the end result, because they work in at times, live in London. They know what has happened to our capital city. They know more than anyone, right? They also know, because they're privy to more things I am, what's on the way, whether or not this is going to stop, whether or not it's indefinite. They know more than anyone, yet they're remaining silent. They're being deceitful to their constituents, intellectually dishonest as well. So, as I say, we must oppose cultural change. I'm sure many new arrivals are lovely, law-abiding, God-loving people, I'm sure, but that's not the point here. The point is, if it's not stopped, there will be a cultural change, right? That's what will happen. In fact, it is happening now as I speak. There is a cultural change underway, and if it's not stopped, long-term, 5 to 10 years, this will be disastrous for our city. We'll lose our unique Scouse character, traditions, and cultural identity. No cultural rewind. It can't happen, ladies and gentlemen. Right? We've got it then. We're stuck with it. Well, it'll just be a different city. Right? We can't let this happen. Right? Ever happen. That's why, come election, pick a candidate, reliable, credible, opposed to further cultural change, and give them your vote. Right? These reckless politicians are not coming to our aid. They're not coming to rescue us. They're not coming to help us. Right? They're going to leave us. They've abandoned us. It's noisy, busy. So I'll have to call time, ladies and gentlemen. I like to say, what is happening is too many are coming in. Different nationalities, different cultures. Okay, sir. You all right, Tom? Go on. Ah, good friend of mine there. right? So that's why we must oppose this. If we don't, as I've said, we're in big trouble long term, right? Remember, say no to cultural change, yes to Scouts Pride, shout it out loud, Scouts and proud. Okay, thank you.